A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
The greatest story ever told. Today, we present Blessed Are They That Mourn, a drama contained in the Sermon on the Mount, as set down in the 5th chapter of the Gospel according to St. Matthew. A teaching from the greatest life ever lived. In the town of Arbella in Galilee, Merchant Michael is very highly regarded. People will tell you that he is a man of wealth and position. They will tell you, too, that in the town of Arbella, many people depend upon Michael for their livelihood. Yet it is strange that people never talk very much of Michael's friends or his family, because for all his possessions, he is a lonely man. At this moment, in the counting room of the place of business in the market of Arbella, Michael sits at his great table, staring at another man, a younger man who sits across him. For the moment, no word is spoken. There is a sense of meditation in the room. As we watch them, we would think these men are strangers to one another. Yet in fact, they are actually his father and son. For the younger man is Michael's son, Abel. And now, people wait until Michael himself breaks the news to silence.
Well, Abel, you asked to see me, and I've granted you permission. What is it you wish? Am I not allowed to inquire after your health? Well, I tell you what. All the time. If you were so much interested in my health and welfare, you would not have done what you did. We've been over that many times. And you've never admitted your mistake. I call it a mistake to have married a woman I love. A woman who's been a good wife to me, who loves me. I should be disloyal to her to say this mistake. You could not risk disloyalty to her, but could be disloyal to your own father. Flouting my word, marrying against my will. And poor woman of such poor stationing like you. You did good for all that. It does no good. Oh, yes, I know. I did what I thought was right for me. So that's what I'm not about. I'm sorry about this one thing only. You said it being meant to forgive me. So the need for forgiveness brought you here. Share the fact. But I will tell you what brought me here. I would like to leave you. I will not forget him. This is not my wife. Who then? Him? Who is he? In a moment. He's just outside the door. That's Dr. Lindsay. Your son, Abe? Your grandson. I have to realize how much past that. Something of course. Look at you. Yeah. Like 30 years ago. Exactly like 30 years. Well, it's you. If you were here then. Almost not you approve of it. Very fine looking man. Tell me, Jonathan, do you know who I am?
You're my grandfather.
What have they told you about me? That I'm a bitter old man? That I don't like your mother? Things like that? No. You have been taught you a dear and respected grandfather. You should have known it. Should I? But if I may ask you something, I would like to talk to you on this phone. Just think of that for a little while longer. That's a fine looking man. He's right. Everyone thinks he's business, huh? Thanks. Yes, Jonathan, your grandfather is very pleased with you. Now, please wait outside. Your father and I have to talk over. And now?
Father, I've never tried to deceive you.
Deception is not the worst fault in itself.
What I mean is, I've not tried to put on airs to lead you to believe that I do very well in here. I do not, and it is no secret. Still, I would not come to ask for a single copper coin for myself or Miriam.
I do not wish to hear that woman's name.
But I am here to ask you for money. You yourself said he seemed a bright boy, and he is. It would be a shame if he were denied an education because of me and what I did, wouldn't it? Father, you're not here to say. Haven't you heard what I said?
Every word? I've been thinking. Shall I tell you what went through my mind? The boy. He looked so much like you when you were his age. As though I could have a second chance to bring you up. Make him the kind of son I expected in you.
Father, you don't understand. It's only money for his education that I see.
Then you're the one who does not understand.
Perhaps I don't.
The boy shall have the finest education. Finest of everything.
Oh, Father, I don't know how to thank you enough.
As long as he lives in this household.
Wait, I still don't understand.
I've tried to make it clear. Give the boy to me and you'll have the best of everything.
Give him up to you. What of Miriam? What of me? He's our son. We love him.
You heard my offer. Give the boy to me and he shall have everything the boy could want. But unless you let me have the child, I want nothing more to do with it. I never say anything I do not mean. You know that by now.
Yes, I suppose I should.
Well,
I'm sorry, Father. I would rather the boy went without an education than without a mother's heart. He could not do what you want.
you will rob him of a great deal.
I'll love him. He will never give up the boy.
In that case, Abel, there is no more to say. Good day.
Good day, Father. God be.
If you should ever change your mind, remember that my offer stands. Give the boy to me. He wants for nothing. My refusal stands too. We would never give him up. You'll be sorry for this, Abel. I want you.
Michael, sir?
Yes, sir. What is it? Why do you interrupt me now and I'm going over my...
I tried to explain to him, sir, but he...
Who insisted?
The man who waits outside there, he said it was most urgent. He had to see you at once.
Merchants of produce, sir, no doubt. They always think it's urgent. Well, produce is not spoil in an hour. Let him wait.
But he is not a merchant and he has no produce. Did you mention something about your son?
My son? So that's it. He's come to his senses at last. He thought over what I said a few months ago. Now he's ready to believe my words. I should have known. We'll send the man in. The account can wait for this.
Yes, sir, I will send him in.
Well, I understand you come with word from my son Abel.
I do.
So he gives an advice to send an intermediary. Believe me, if he hadn't been so stubborn the last time he was here, he would not have to be sending strangers now to plead on his behalf.
I am no stranger to him.
A close friend of his, man.
We share a great belief, your son and I.
So?
We believe in the master.
The master? From what I've heard of him, he was such a dreamer like myself.
I would not laugh. Spectacle their entire life.
Yes, I've even heard that there are some like that.
I am one of them.
You, a disciple?
My name is John.
I see. So my son has sent you to represent him. Did you think to impress me with the disciple of the master? Well, I am not impressed. Now, to the business which brought you here. I can tell you now my terms are still the same. If the boy belongs to me, I will do everything for him that I can. Quite considerable. I'm an important man, you know.
Sir, I'm afraid you don't understand.
I understand perfectly, but my terms are still the same. No help unless the boy belongs to me.
Sir, I'm trying to understand you, Michael. The boy belongs to John.
You choose strange words. Make your meaning plain. How much plainer can it be? And at least the boy spinning is the story true. Oh, that cannot be. I'm afraid it is true. That is what your son said. He himself in the morning could not come. But once, okay, the struck hold of it when I lived. Many died. Many children. Friends. Yes, Michael. And I believe. Very but I don't think you know it once. You wouldn't have wished to serve the morning. Yes. Good. I don't want to see you, sir. Come. Let me take you to your home. You would be better off here. Thank you, Michael.
You seem surprised.
I expected that it would be one of Michael's servants. That day when I brought him home, there seemed to be many servants here.
Yes, there were. The things have changed for Michael in recent weeks. Yes, they've changed greatly. Are you a friend of his?
I tried to be a friend to all. My name is John.
Tell me, are you the one who came to you, friend? Yes.
Yes. Why do you ask?
Which is mentioned in several times. And you can help now.
There is more trouble.
It's an answer to that. More trouble.
There is something wrong here.
There is. Oh, I am Aaron, the town elder. I've appointed myself to do what I can for Michael. Unfortunately, I've not been able to do very much.
Then may I?
My desperation. I'm hoping that you can. Come in, Michael. Come in.
Well, Aaron.
Oh,
Sorry. So, one would not expect the household to remain in mourning for so long past the usual time.
there you have struck on the difficulty. Michael is still at home. After all, that thought of Mark of ashes on his father. Ever since that day you brought the news.
It is not good for one to grieve so long.
It's even worse than you suspected. He's not even left the house since that day. His business enterprises, which supported many people, have been allowed to pour away. Many people suffer because of Michael's grief.
I see. I wonder, my friend, could I talk to him?
I believe he would see you.
Where is he?
Michael? Michael? There is a friend here to see you.
Send him away.
I believe you should see him.
I would see no one.
Not even the disciple, John?
You have come back here.
Yes, Michael.
How could you?
You seemed so devastated on the day I was forced to bring you in that bad news. I felt I had to come back. To see if you had found comfort down. There's not been any comfort to me anywhere. Not since that day. Please, my friend, I would not try to minimize your tragedy or make it appear any better. You must accept the will of God. You must not blame. You think I blame Trump? You do not know me. I know who to blame. I know it very well. I am to blame. Fault is mine. See this mark of ashes on my body. Like the mark God placed on Cain's forehead when he killed his own brother. For I have killed my own grandson. Please, sir, no one blames you for what happened. How could
The fault is mine.
No.
It is. But I have been educated that Charlie would not even have been in that village when the plague struck. He's been elsewhere, safe, alive to this day. Alive.
My friend, listen to me.
I can listen to nothing to save my own conscience. I'm guilty.
No, Marshal, you are not guilty. Not of what you accuse yourself. The thing of which you are guilty. Of that you can be absolved.
Of what do you think happened?
What has happened since the boy died is not before.
I have the right to mourn. A reason to mourn.
I will not argue with you about that, my friend. For arguing will not convince you. But consider your mourning is tired. Long enough to make a short journey.
Where? Why?
Come with me. We will find the master.
What can you do for me now? The boy's dead.
You are not. Come with me. If only for the sake of the boy.
For the sake of the boy?
Yes, my friend.
For his sake. I will go with you. Among all these people.
We have come here as they have, to hear the master.
There's so many of them.
From all over Galilee they have come to hear him.
Very many. They come here to hear him teach. Surely he must bring God to us. Else they could not believe in him so strong.
You are right, my friend. Come, we will draw closer to him, so you may look upon his face, for you too have a great need to believe. Come.
Is this he?
Yes, my friend.
His face welcomes me. His eyes forgive me. Surely it is as though God himself holds out his hand to me.
So it is.
Whatever he teach me, I would believe it. I know that now.
Then be still, listen. For he begins to speak.
Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy.
Well, Michael, you have heard a great deal of preaching on this day. What have you to say now?
Take me back home, John. It's not fit for the man who mourns me among other people.
You would retire again to your dark house and keep yourself?
Did he not tell me to do that?
Did he?
I know his very words. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted.
Perhaps you interpret his words in this way because you have not listened to him teach before. His teaching is of love for others, of unselfishness. He does not ask that you mourn in a selfish way, but in an unselfish way. He asks that you mourn for the troubles of others.
What troubles of others is to be as great as mine?
How will you know if you keep to yourself in your own house, constantly grieving over what you cannot change? Of what value is your remorse if it serves only your own purpose? You mourn for as long as you have mourned. Selfish and harmless, my friend.
You think the master meant to say this to me?
I know that he did. For to serve others unselfishly is the essence of what he has always taught us. That man is greatest of all, who is servant of all. This is what he asks now. To serve unselfishly. Can you do that, my friend?
If he asks it of me, I can at least try. Yes, John, I'll give you my word on that. I'll at least try. forward to your return to the town. I've been waiting to see you, to talk to you.
And you've been more than a town elder in this instance. You've been a good, loyal friend. I thank you for it.
Such things as thanks can wait. There are more important things to speak of.
I know what you will say. That others have suffered because of my selfish fault.
Unfortunately, it is no less than the truth.
Then, Aaron, I shall make a bargain with you. I shall try to go about my business to help the people who depend on me for their livelihood. If you will do one thing for me.
Anything, Michael?
I've been thinking since I left the mount where I heard the master teach. One thing is certainly very deeply. There's one great regret. The last request, in fact, the only request that was ever made of me on behalf of my grandson, was that I provide him with education.
You never told me that.
It's true, and I refused unless it could be done in the selfish way I chose. Now, to make up for that, I'd like you to find some boy in the town, a poor boy who needs learning and education, as my grandson did. I would like to make sure that the boy has that.
And if I find such a boy, you will take up your life again as it was?
You have my word on it.
Well, I will find the boy at once.
Of course, Aaron,
Yes?
there's one thing. I would like the boy to be as much like my grandson as possible.
But, Michael, how will I know? I never saw your grandson.
Then bring a number of boys to my house. I will choose one.
It will be done. I will go to the poor quarter of the town at once.
Well, Aaron, have you found some boys so that I can select one?
Michael, there are a number of them waiting to see you. I trust one of them will seem to you like your own grandson.
Then let me see them.
They're just outside this door, Michael. Here, Michael. Here they are. Well, does any of them remind you of him?
Let me see. You. That's right, you, lad. Come here. Yes, sir? Oh, come, lad. Do not be shy or afraid. I'm not harming you.
I'm not afraid, sir.
Here, lift up your face. Let me see your eyes.
Well, Michael,
The eyes, yes. The eyes very much the same.
then you think that perhaps you have found him?
We must not be hasty in this judgment, yes? But there's another boy there. His hair is almost the same color as my grandson was. Come here, boy. Here, lad, lift up your face. Let's see.
The similarity is strong, eh, Michael?
Color of his hair. Something about his face. But we must be fair. We must examine the others before I decide. There's a boy that seems almost the same size. I think if I see him walk, I may know. You see, my grandson carried himself well, very well. That boy will walk toward me.
Michael, no. Don't ask that boy for.
And why not? After all, how am I to judge? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it.
Yes. That boy is crippled. It would be cruel to ask him to make it conspicuous by walking.
Of course, I'm sorry. Yet, you know, there is something about him that reminds me of my grandson.
In the way he carries his head erect and courageously.
Could be that, yes. You know, Aaron, I can see now it would be very difficult to make a choice.
One bears a resemblance to your grandson's eyes, another to his face, another to his bearing, another has the same color hair.
Very confusing. Very confusing.
Well, if you would wish to think about it, or if you wish I could find a few other needy boys in the town, and there's some I could not bring here at this time.
No, that would only confuse me all the more. When I looked at the first one, I said, that's he. Then when I looked at the second one, I began to feel that he was the one. So it's been all the others.
Then could it be that there is one thing about all these boys that reminds you of your grandson?
No two of them are actually alike when you compare them side by side.
Yet there is one thing that remains the same.
And one thing they all have in common with your grandson.
What is that?
They're all bright young boys. All worthy of receiving an education. All of them boys who would be better off for having this great opportunity. In that way, they're like your grandson, Jonathan.
Yes. Yes, of course. I should have known that. That's why they all seem somehow to resemble him.
So that any one you choose would be the right one.
And yet there would be all the others who would be denied what I denied to Jonathan. No, Aaron. There should be a way to help them all.
If only it is possible.
It will be possible. Because I will make it possible.
Michael, it's a great undertaking.
But I shall have to make sure that there's sufficient money to carry it out. And there will be if I apply myself to business from now on. Yes, this will give me something to work for. Something beside my own selfish desires.
Oh, it will be a wonderful thing for all of us. For the boys, for the people of the town. Everyone.
Yet, Aaron, I think most of all for me. Instead of giving in to blind and destructive remorse for my grandson who can never be given back to me, I shall have many grandsons for whom to work and provide.
And Michael, you could even have a son again, too.
I doubt if he could ever see his way clear to forgiving.
I think he might. Promise me, Michael. Promise me you will at least ask him. And his wife.
You're right. I'll ask them both to forgive me. And if I try to follow in the way of the Master, all things will grow better with time. For already I see the wisdom of his ways. By mourning for the troubles of others, I've found a way out of my own despair. I've begun to be comforted even now, as he promised.
Next week, on this same network at this time, we will present another episode in the greatest story ever told from the greatest life ever lived. The greatest story ever told. This afternoon we present The Betrayal and the Crucifixion, the first of two Easter season dramas based on events in the greatest life ever lived. standing proudly upon the crest of a mountain, and crowded this day with worshippers from all parts of Judea and Galilee, who have come to pray at the temple and to celebrate the Passover. But by the city gate the crowd is greatest, for many have come to see the entry of one of whom they have heard strange and wondrous tales. And now someone spies him as he rides toward the city gate upon the back of a donkey, and a great cry goes up. And from the cheering crowd suddenly are produced palm branches, and they are strewn in his path. Yet there are many who watch not from the street, but from the high and secluded terraces and parapets of stately buildings and palaces. From one terrace watches a man named Joseph, who is of the place called Arimathea, and beside him stands his wife.
Joseph, how they crowd round him and strew his path with palm leaves and flowers.
Yes, my dear. It's an amazing thing to behold.
They must love him so.
They do. And yet, it's been truly said that no one can be loved by some without stirring jealousy in the hearts of others.
What a strange thing to say at such a time.
My dear, there will be those who will watch and ponder about this thing we see below us now. Yes, there will be those.
And upon the parapet of another princely palace stand two men, one named Caiaphas and another named Annas, priests both of them, and both men concerned by the spectacle they witness.
Well, Annas, do you see? Do you hear? Palm leaves and hosannas.
Yes, Caiaphas, but it will pass.
Will it? Have you ever seen such a reception for anyone in your lifetime?
No.
So something must be done.
Done? What? Why?
Fool, he has captured the people. If they follow him, what becomes of us? What is a high priest without followers?
True, but what can we do, Caiaphas?
Well, something must be done. Look at them. Listen to them. Well, this will change. It must change. And I think I know how. So your name is Judas. Tell me, how long have you known him?
It doesn't matter.
Don't tremble so, Judas. You're safe here. No one will ever know it was you. Now tell me how long.
If you persist in asking questions, Caiaphas, I won't do it. I'll leave.
Well, I suppose one shouldn't look for noble qualities in an informer.
You shouldn't have said that.
No, don't go. It was a badly chosen word. Now then, where will we find him?
The garden. Gethsemane. Late at night. But all his disciples will be there.
Then how will we know which one is he?
I've thought about that, too. It must be done in a manner that won't give me away.
And that would be?
The kiss of greeting. What could be more usual?
Then the one you kiss, we take.
Yes.
Very good. We'll be there. Now, how much?
I don't know.
I asked how much.
I don't have time to bargain. I have to get back and join the others for the feast.
Well, then is 30 pieces fair?
I don't know.
Well, what do you usually get?
Now, see here.
Yes?
All right. 30.
I was prepared for that. You'll find the 30 pieces in this pouch. Now, Judas, get on to your feast.
Peter, did you notice?
What, John? You mean how calm and peaceful the master seems?
And look at Judas. The last to enter. He glances about as though he were afraid of something.
The master is the one who should be afraid. His hour is coming as he foretold it to us, yet he's said nothing. He's done nothing.
Wait, Peter. He's reaching for a face.
Master, here. Here's the basin and a pitcher of water. If you desire to wash, Lord, allow me to help.
Peter, look.
Master, no. You kneeling at my feet. Oh, no, it cannot be. I should kneel at your feet. Master, you wash my feet. It's I who should wash yours.
What I do, you know not, but you shall know hereafter.
Please, Lord, you shall never wash the feet of one so undeserving as I.
If I wash you not, you have no part of me.
Then, Lord, not my feet only, but also my hands and my head. Lord,
has anyone ever shown greater humility?
Now he's beginning to wash the feet of the others also.
If I, then, your Lord and Master, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. I have given you an example that you should do as I have done to you. Verily, I say unto you, the servant is not greater than the master.
It is somehow the beginning of the end, John.
Yes. As though the washing of our feet were the first step toward what will end as he prophesied to us only 2 short days ago.
If he would say a word or give a sign, I'd offer my life in his place. I would.
No one can offer his life in place of the Master.
Look, he's saying a prayer over the bread now.
And he breaks it into little pieces.
Do you see how many pieces?
9, 10, 11, 12.
Needs one for each of us. Come, we must pass them down the table to the others.
This is my body, which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me.
But, Master...
Peter. The chalice of wine, Master, is that what you reach for?
I'll fill it, Master.
He's blessed it, Peter. Now take it. Pass it for each man to drink.
Yes, John.
This is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sin. A new commandment I give unto you, that ye love one another as I have loved you. Now I say unto you, one of you which eateth with me shall betray me.
Is it I, Lord?
Is it I, Lord?
Is it I, Lord? Is it I, Lord?
Is it I, Lord?
Is it I, Lord? Is it I, Lord? Is it I, Lord? Is it I, Lord?
He that dippeth his hand with me in the dish, the same shall he betray me.
Master, is it I?
Thou hast said. That which you do quickly.
I'm going to stop him, John.
If the Master was one of them stops, wouldn't he have said so?
But you heard it just as I did. What's the matter with all of you? Will you let that traitor go? Will you let him betray the Master? Well, I won't. If it costs me my life, I'm going after Judas. I'll stop him. It seems I'm the only one who's brave enough.
Wait, Peter. The Master would speak to us.
You will all be offended this night because of me.
No, Master. Not I.
For it is written, I will smite the shepherd, and the sheep shall be scattered.
No, Master, no. If the others be offended because of you, I will not. Oh, no, not Simon Peter. I'd go to prison with you. I'd even go to death with you. Believe me, Master.
I say unto you, this day, even in this night, before the cock crows twice, you shall deny me 3 times.
No, Lord. If I should die with you, I would still not deny you. Not in any way. Not in any way. How many times have we been here in this Garden of Gethsemane, John?
It's one of his favorite places.
Look. The way he kneels off there, all by himself. To know the fate that's facing him and yet not try to escape it.
He wouldn't be the one we think he is if he were to try to escape.
But to die in that way, surely he must know what suffering that means. What a bitter cup it is to drink.
That's why he prays, as he does now.
Father, if thou be willing, remove this cup from me. Nevertheless, not my will, but thine be done. Simon, sleepest thou?
What? Master. Oh, Master, forgive me. I had fallen asleep.
Could ye not watch with me 1 hour?
Oh, Master, forgive me. John. What? James. Wake. Wake up, all of you.
Peter, what happened? Was I asleep, Peter?
We were all asleep.
Rise. Behold, he is at hand that doth betray me.
Where, Master? I don't see anyone or hear any. Wait. John, do you hear? Marching men. Torches. The clank of armor. Soldiers. Master, there may still be time to save yourself. Come with us. He won't move, Peter. Then I shall protect him. I have my sword.
Peter, can you see? Can you make out any faces in the flickering torchlight?
Soldiers, as I thought.
Yes, but that one there. He wears no uniform.
Look. He comes toward us now. Judas.
Go on. Which one is he?
Friend, wherefore are you come?
Hail, Master. I greet you with a kiss.
Nobody kiss me, that one! Wait! First man to touch him will feel the cut of this sword. Stop!
Peter, put up again thy sword into his place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword.
But, Master, shall I stand by helpless? Is there nothing I can do?
The one that threw this kiss around him. Lead him up. Fight.
Master! Master.
The palace of Caiaphas at this hour of the night.
Am I not allowed here? Is it so secret?
I'm the sentry on duty here. It's my business to ask who you are.
I'm a poor man who's come in out of the cold of the night air.
Oh, then you can draw up a little closer to the fire.
Thank you. But goes on in there?
Trial.
Who's being tried?
That one they call the Master.
What do they say about him?
Mostly they talk about blasphemy.
He's never blasphemed.
Oh, no? How do you know so much about him? Are you one of his followers, perhaps?
No, I don't even know him.
Then you'd be wise to be quiet.
Yes, sir. Look, the door is opening.
You there, woman. Well, what's going on in there now?
They've just begun to question the Master himself.
What did they say to him? What did he answer?
Are you a friend of his? I think I've seen you with him, haven't I?
Me? No, woman, I don't even know him. That sound.
First sound of morning. What are you so alarmed about, friend?
Nothing. There's nothing to be alarmed about. I wonder how it's going in there. I wonder.
I can find out by opening the door. But be quiet, both of you. Caiaphas is questioning him now.
Why don't you answer the witnesses? What are the things they said against you? I adjure you by the living God to tell us. Are you the Christ, the Son of God?
Thou hast said. Nevertheless, I say unto you, hereafter shall ye see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of heaven.
Did you hear that? Yeah, we need no more witnesses. You've all heard his blasphemy. He's guilty. Listen, did you hear? Guilty. They say guilty.
Wait from that door. I told you to be quiet. Don't you know you could have got me into trouble shouting that way? They might have heard you.
They don't care. They said he was guilty. Guilty.
Yes, we heard. But why are you so concerned?
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's something strange about you. You must know him. You must be a friend of his.
If you are, they'll be wanting you inside, too.
No.
Now that he's guilty.
No, wait. I don't know what you're talking about. Either of you. Leave me alone. I don't know him. I never did know him. There. You see? You forced me to say it. He said I would. You forced me to. You did. You did.
What's the matter with that man?
He ran off, crying. A big grown man crying. I don't understand. But the one inside, what will they do with him?
Do with him? He'll be on his way to Pontius Pilate now.
Well, Caiaphas, why have you wakened me so early? If it wasn't important, Pilate, I wouldn't have had you roused.
Yes, it's just as well. There was no sleep for me anyhow. My wife moaning and tossing from a bad dream.
Well, now, what do you want? There is a man here upon whom the sentence of death must be passed.
Death? What's he done?
Blasphemed.
Blasphemed? Well, then, it's no affair of mine.
Even if he claims to be king here.
There's only one king. Caesar is his name. Oh, this may be serious. We'll have him in. We'll find out about this. Sentry, bring the prisoner in. In here. Well, now, tell me. Are you king here? Well?
My kingdom is not of this world.
Indeed. One who talks of kingdoms could claim to be a king after all. Well, do you?
Thou sayest that I am a king. To this end was I born into the world,
that I should bear witness unto the truth.
Witness unto the truth? What is truth? Why don't you answer me? Don't you know that I have the power to have you crucified?
You could have no power at all against me, except it was given you from above.
Indeed. Sentry, take him out of here. This way, King. Strange man. And what is your decision about him, this pretender to thrones? It's true he talked of his king.
Pilate.
Yes. Claudia, what are you doing here?
Pilate, I heard you talk to him.
Please, my dear, this is no matter for you to worry about.
Have nothing to do with that just man. I have dreamed about him. My dreams trouble me. Trouble me.
So that's why you tossed and moaned so in your sleep. Pilate, this is no time for concern with dreams. This is a time for realities. What are you going to do about him?
Pilate, please, have nothing to do with him.
Remember, Pilate, word of this will reach Rome. I see no fault in him. Yet, word of a king reaching Rome. Wait, I know. There's a way out. The custom to release one prisoner to the people at holiday time. I shall offer this man and one other. Let the crowd make the choice. But let it be taken out of my hands. Well, Sentry, where are the prisoners? Being brought out, Excellency. The one who calls himself a king. Was he scourged as I ordered? Yes, Excellency, and even more. Call himself a king, will he? Well, we made a king out of him. We gave him a robe and a crown, too. Play the king before Roman soldiers, will he? Crown? Of thorns, Excellency. And it fits pretty close around his head. Not the most comfortable crown in the world, eh? Is that him now? Yes, Excellency. I didn't know him with that purple robe. Purple fit for a king, Excellency. Bring him forth. And the other one, too. Barabbas? Yes, both of them. Bring them here before the crowd. Yes, Excellency. Sentry, silence the crowd. Silence! Silence! The representative of Rome wishes to be heard. In accordance with custom, I shall this day release to you one prisoner. 2 men shall be presented to you. One shall go free, the other shall die. Sentry, present the 2 prisoners. Here are the 2. This one is Berayal, a robber. He has even killed. And this one is called Jesus of Nazareth. He claims to be king here. Well, now, which of these 2 prisoners shall I give you to be set free? Sentry, you've heard the choice. Turn Barabbas free. And this one, Excellency? And this one? And he shall carry his own cross to Calvary. Yes, sir. And one thing more. Bring me a pitcher of water. Yes, Excellency. A pitcher of water for His Excellency. Yes, sir. I'll pour it over my hand. I am innocent of the blood of this just man. Now, carry out the order. Yes, Excellency. Bring out the cross. Now place it on his back. And now send him on his way down the road to Calvary.
hangs between two thieves' tongues. Did I follow him all the way from Magdala to see this agony?
And in the sight of his mother.
If only we could comfort her.
How can anyone comfort her? Now that a sword has pierced her soul.
Father, forgive him, for they know not what they do. Amen, I say to thee, this day shalt thou be with me in paradise. Woman, behold thy mother. My God, why hast thou forsaken me? I thirst. It is finished. Father, into thy hands I commend my spirit.
Greatest story ever told. Tonight we present Sufficient Unto the Day, a drama based on a teaching from the greatest life ever lived. The town of Chorazin in Galilee stands on the flatlands of the Galilean plain. Yet from there one can see in the distance the hills and mountains of North Galilee. And between the town and the hills lies many small farms. Well, one of these modest farms belongs to a man named Raphael, and it's in his home we find him now, looking out intently, thinking.
Raphael.
Shh, my dear.
Raphael, it's already past dawn, and you're still here. The cows are waiting to be pastured, and the sheep should be let out to graze.
That's what I'm thinking about. I don't like the look of it out there.
There was a haze yesterday, and you said there'd be a storm. But there wasn't.
And what did I lose by being careful?
A whole day's work, that's why.
I suppose it would have been better if I'd let the cattle and sheep out and they'd been driven apart and lost in the storm. I suppose that's better, huh?
No.
You can't be too careful, Ruth. I learned my lesson not once, but many times. You never know when something's going to happen. You have to be prepared.
The haze seems to be lifting. Isn't that the sun?
Yes, it seems to be coming out. Maybe it'll be a good day after all. Where's Mara?
Out to the well for water.
When she comes back, have her fill the troughs with water, too. When the cattle return, they're to have enough to drink.
Yes, Raphael. Raphael, don't you think she works too hard? For a girl, I mean.
If the boy was still with us, she wouldn't have had to work so hard. As it is, we must each do our share. She has her work. Let her do it.
Yes, Raphael, I shall tell her as soon as she returns.
And I'll be in the fields keeping an eye to the livestock and plowing. I shall be back for my meal at dusk.
Yes, Raphael.
Mind you, Mara's to fill those troughs.
Mara, dear, you should rest now.
Oh, Mother, I didn't hear you come out of the house.
I've been watching from the doorway. You're working too hard. This is man's work.
Only 9 or 10 more buckets of water and I'll have the troughs filled.
Then do it after you've had your midday meal.
No, I can't stop now. I promised Jonathan he could come here this afternoon, that we could talk a while.
I think it'll be a better life for you when you two are married, my dear.
I hope so.
Jonathan seems like such a fine young man. So pleasant, and yet with good sense to him. I'm glad he's the one.
Mother, he'll be asking again today. What can I tell him?
I don't know. I talked to your father last night. He didn't seem quite ready to give his consent.
But why?
You know your father. Always worrying. He began to think of all kinds of things that could happen.
None of them good, I suppose.
Oh, you know him as well as I do. He said Jonathan isn't too well off. If there were a drought or a lean year, or if he fell ill, then it would be my burden to feed him and our daughter. That's the way he talked.
Has he always been like that?
When I first knew him, he seemed to be cautious. That was what my father liked about him. But then, after a while, I began to realize he was afraid. Afraid all the time. It's not a good way to live.
To think you've put up with it for so long. I'm sorry for you, Mother.
My life is spent. But yours, it's really just beginning. I hope you have a better life than I. And you will, if only I can convince your father.
Mara?
Oh, that's Jonathan now. Perhaps he'd like to have the midday meal with us. You ask him, Mara.
Yes, Mother, I will. Jonathan, I'm here. By the trough.
Oh, there you are.
You're early, Jonathan.
Yes, I set myself a stint for the day to plow the field behind my house. I was so anxious to see you that I finished quicker than I expected. You see, being in love has its good side, too. It makes a man work harder.
I haven't finished my work yet.
Well, then I'll help you. Together it shouldn't take long.
All right. And then Mother will have the meal prepared. You'll stay and eat with us, won't you, Jonathan?
Of course. Now hand me that leather bucket and I'll show you how a trough should be filled. They say you can see the daughter 20 years hence by looking at the mother today. Well, I'm satisfied with what I see.
But, Jonathan, where did you learn to flatter that way?
Your fine meal has inspired me.
Oh.
When I think that Mara will soon be cooking food like this for me, well, What's the matter?
Nothing, Jonathan.
You both seemed so jolly and smiling till I said something about our being married. And the smile went out of your faces. What's wrong?
Jonathan, my father hasn't decided yet.
You mean he's decided, but the answer is no.
Please, Jonathan, don't judge him harshly. He's had his share of trouble in his life. My own name, Mara, it means bitterness. Bitterness because I was born just after my brother died, victim of the plague. My father wanted another son. Instead, it was I. You know how much a son means on a farm.
But is that something to make a man bitter? Is it, Ruth?
He used to say it would be that way. He used to fear it would be a daughter instead of a son. And it was.
But that was so long ago.
I know. He seems only to be aware of two things. The misfortunes of the past and the evil that might come tomorrow.
I know his trouble. He's afraid. He has nothing to believe in or trust.
That's right. But what can we do about it?
We can do a great deal. He'll go with me to hear the master. That's what he'll do.
The master? He cures the sick, makes the lame to walk. And Raphael is neither of those.
Everyone talks of the miracles. Why don't they talk more of the strength and courage he's given men? That's what Raphael needs, I know.
What do I need, young man?
Oh, Raphael,
Raphael, back so soon. You said by dusk. Is there something wrong?
Is there something wrong? People talk about me behind my back. If I had the time, young man, I'd stop to find out what I need. But there is no time. We must leave. We must leave here at once.
Leave? What are you talking about?
This time it won't get any of mine. It won't get me.
What won't get you, Raphael? What won't?
Plague.
Plague? You mean there's plague hereabout? Who told you?
Raphael, the plague. The last time you know what happened.
It won't happen this time. We're leaving here.
But where will we go?
Up into the hills, away from everyone. The evil that brings the plague seems to strike where the most people are. Well, we won't be here when it comes.
Wait, Raphael.
Well?
You said when it comes.
So I did.
Oh, I thought at first there was a plague here in the town, perhaps.
Only a fool would wait for it to strike. We must do something.
Now, Raphael, before you go doing anything rash, tell me what you heard, where you heard it.
I was out in the fields when a lone rider came by. He stopped to ask for a drink. After he drank, we fell to talking. He's a messenger for an official in Tiberias. Part of the news he carries is this. Just to the north of Phoenicia, there's a town that has plague now.
Oh, to the north of Phoenicia? Well, that's so far away it could never reach here.
Couldn't it? The last time, more than 20 years ago, there was plague there. And there was plague here, too, afterward. And my only son was killed by it. Well, I won't wait for that to happen again.
Raphael, I have no right to tell you not to go. But I think I do have a right to ask about Mara.
Right? You have no rights over my daughter. She has only to obey her father. That's the law.
Then you propose to take Mara with you?
As long as she lives under my roof, she is subject to my command.
But you're running before your fear like a ship before the wind.
It's not fear to exercise caution. It's good sense.
Good sense? To be so afraid that you can't think straight? There's no plague here, and yet you'd flee your home and leave your land at planting time.
I'm older than you are, Jonathan. I know about all the things that can happen, about dangers, and how to avoid them.
Raphael, would you do something, I ask?
What?
Would you come with me to hear the master?
Can that ward off the plague?
Will you go with me to hear the master?
I have no time.
Have you at least time to listen to something I heard the master say?
If it doesn't take too long.
I was there the day he said it. The master had been teaching a long time. Up on the mount he stood. The disciples stood around him listening. The master talked of having faith in God, his goodness, and of not having fear of what tomorrow will bring. And then he spoke the words I remember best of all.
Take therefore no thought for the morrow, for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof.
There's a good deal for you to think about in that, Raphael.
Is there?
Don't you understand, Raphael? Doesn't it mean anything to you?
Take no thought for tomorrow. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. Fools talk. Who's going to worry about tomorrow if I don't?
Raphael, please, don't be so hasty.
With the plague on the way, I'm not going to stand here and argue.
You have to understand, Raphael. The master meant to have some faith in what tomorrow will bring, not to be constantly afraid of it, not to live in fear all your life. Do well what you have to do today, and you'll be better prepared to meet what tomorrow brings.
And that's exactly what I'm doing. If I want my family to be alive tomorrow, we must leave here today.
There's no convincing you, is there?
There is not.
Then, Mara, I must speak to you. Are you going? Are you leaving here, too?
Please, Jonathan.
Are you?
If my father says so, I have no choice.
Well, I'll be waiting for you, Mara, when you come back.
Jonathan.
Goodbye. May God bring all of you back safe.
Jonathan.
Mara, please, don't weep. This isn't the end.
We've no time for weeping now. There's a great deal to do, and we must hurry. You and Mara can begin bringing all the things here.
You think it'll be safe to bury them?
It's as though an enemy was sweeping down. We must carry with us what we can, and all else we must carry. Begin bringing the things from the house.
Yes, Raphael.
And have Mara help.
Let the poor girl be.
You'd think I were trying to harm her instead of keep her safe. There'll be time later to be married. The thing to do now is to make sure you're alive.
About the fields, Raphael. What of them?
Who's going to run off with the fields?
I meant to have planted them and not stay here to reap.
Better to stay alive and eat less next year than to have food and feed it to mourners at your funeral. Now bring the things out. Everything we're not taking with us. I'll bury them here and leave some rocks for markers, and we'll be free to go. You're sure we left nothing behind?
No, Raphael.
And Mara, did you make sure the fire was out?
Yes, Father.
Then each of you take one of the smaller bundles.
Do you know where we're going, Raphael?
I have the place well in mind. A cave that I found as a lad. We can be protected there, and alone, too. The plague won't find us. Come now. I'll drive the sheep and cattle. You two walk alongside in case any of them stray. Here, Mara, I'll help you get this bundle set on your back.
I won't go.
Mara.
I won't go. I won't leave home and Jonathan just to run away.
You'll do as I say, Mara. I'm your father.
Please, my dear.
Jonathan was right. Because Father's afraid we're rushing away from something that doesn't even exist. And headlong into something we don't know.
We'd still have our son if we were wiser the last time there was a plague.
But there is no plague here. No one's come down with it.
Mara, are you going to desert your father and mother now?
All right.
I'll help you with your bundle. There. And you, Ruth. There. And now we're ready. Let's start. There. There, you see? You said we couldn't go and we're already on our way. Don't worry. We've enough to eat to keep us till it's safe to return.
Mother, you're crying.
Don't know.
But you are.
To leave your own home like this. To flee as from a marauding enemy. I'm not young anymore, Mara. I don't like to leave my home.
Don't worry, Mother. We'll be back. Whenever he thinks it's safe, we'll be back.
Come, you two. No lagging. We must hurry. Hurry. Come, both of you. It's here. And it's just as I remembered the place from my childhood. Come, look at it.
Is this the cave, Rachel?
Yes, Ruth. Why do you look so disappointed?
We're to live here? For weeks?
Months if we have to. It's not so bad. Come in. Look around. There. Is it bad? Safe, snug against all kinds of weather.
Cold, damp, dirty.
We'll clean it up, and we'll get a fire started. Once we do that, you'll see it's as good, safe place to be. Mara.
Yes, Father? Is this the place?
You too? You don't like it either?
Should we like it?
If it saves our lives, yes. Now, don't stand around bemoaning your lot in life. There's nothing wrong with the cave that hard work can't fix. Mara, you're to fetch water from the stream we just crossed. Ruth, you're to begin cleaning up this place. We can live here, and more important, we can be safe here. Let there be a plague, let others die, but we'll be safe. Now, let's start working.
How long will we have to stay here?
Stop nagging, Ruth. I have a great deal to worry about without being annoyed by you. You're safe from the rain, aren't you? It's warm in this cave, isn't it?
Not so warm as it used to be at home. One could feel secure against a storm there.
You could get plague there, too.
It's been months. Perhaps it's come and gone by now.
You can't be too sure.
And most of the flour is gone. What will we eat?
We'll kill another lamb.
You can't live only on meat.
You don't starve on it.
Then we won't go back soon.
We'll go back when I think it's safe.
I was thinking about Mara mostly.
You think about Nara. Well, I don't. I have more practical ways of spending my time. I've got more important things to worry about.
My daughter's happiness is important to me.
I'm doing what's best. Besides, now it's done. We should worry about other things.
What other things?
One of the sheep was attacked by a wild beast today. It was carried off.
You didn't tell me.
I didn't want you to worry. But when I see you concern yourself about trivial things, then I feel it's time you knew the truth. Once a wild animal discovers a source of food, it comes back. It might even come back leading a pack of its own kind. All our food is threatened now.
Then we should leave tomorrow.
We'll wait and see. What else can we do now? Back to kill more of our cattle, eh? Where's my staff? Wait for this.
Father, he came right into the cave.
Yes, they grow bolder all the time. 3 remaining head of cattle, and still they come back. Well, I beat him off that time.
I was coming back from the stream. I heard Mara cry for help. What happened?
Those beasts, one of them even ventured into the cave this time.
Into the cave? Then we're not safe here ourselves any longer.
No.
First the flour gone, then the barley meal. Now even the animals. Only 3 left. How long can we go on living on that?
You're right, Ruth. To stay on here any longer is too dangerous. We shall go back tomorrow, and let's hope it's safe. Let's hope the plague is over. There is your home, Ruth.
Look at it. Travelers have stopped here. They used this place and left it dirty and uncared for.
Yes. And did you see the fields?
Picked clean.
I don't mind that. At least the corn serves some purpose. But the stalks left to rot there, the whole place overgrown with weeds and grasses.
This used to be such a fine place.
It will again. If we can live long enough to work it.
What do you mean, Father?
Food for the coming year, we have none. We'll have to live on roots and herbs and wild fruit. Well, we must start someplace. I'll build us a fire to keep us warm.
Someone left some twigs. One of the travelers, I guess. I'll help you, Father.
No, you must be tired. I'll do it by myself. You see that your mother rests. The things one must do just to stay alive. Sit here by the hearth, Ruth. I'll have the fire going soon. And I'll brew you a drink from some herbs. Sit here, my dear. Here, Ruth. Drink this. It'll make you feel better.
What's going to happen to us, Rachel?
I don't know. We're alive. We have our health. We'll find some way out of our difficulties.
I hope so.
After all, it's better this way than if one of us had died in the plague.
Yes. At least we're safe. That's something to be thankful for. Isn't it, Mara?
I suppose so.
You still hold your bitterness, don't you, child?
I don't know. After all we've been through. Fleeing like criminals. Living in a cave like animals. Coming back home to see our own house despoiled like this. I don't think I can feel anything anymore. I'm just empty. Empty.
Don't ever believe that I didn't do this for your sake, for your mother's sake. A man must protect his own. I wouldn't be a father or a husband if I didn't. Here, child, drink some of this. Who's that? Who is it?
Mara, Raphael, this time it is you.
Jonathan. Oh, Jonathan.
My dear, what's happened to you?
Do I look so different to you, Jonathan?
You look as if you've been through a great ordeal. But as long as you're back now...
How did you know?
Every day I kept watching for the smoke from your house. And then there'd be days that I'd see it, and I'd come running here. But I'd find it was some traveler using this as a place to spend the night. This time I almost didn't want to come here. I thought it would be the same as before.
Oh, Jonathan, you don't know how good it is to be back. To see you again.
I waited, Mara. And I would have waited even longer if I had to.
You're very fortunate that you're alive, Jonathan.
There's been a lot of good fortune around here this year, Raphael. You missed the finest harvest of many years.
I know. I could tell from the size of the stalks. But then tell me, how many died of the plague here? Tell me that.
Plague?
Yes.
Raphael, there was no plague.
That's not true. You're only telling me that to revenge yourself because I took Mara away to safety.
Why should I lie? If you don't believe me, ask the others. We had no plague here.
I don't understand it. It seems so certain. The messenger coming down from Phoenicia, he said there was plague.
That's right. There was plague in one city to the north, but it didn't spread. No one had it here. No one.
No one. No one. And I ruined myself to run away from it. Ruined my farm and my home. Made my family live like beasts of the field. All to escape something that never even happened.
Your fear made you do it.
Yes. And the crop I should have harvested is lost. The cattle and sheep killed for food or destroyed by foxes.
We'll get through the year, Raphael. Don't worry about that. We'll be of the same family now. After all, I couldn't let my wife's parents starve, could I?
To think that I would come to this at my age. I thought I was looking ahead, avoiding trouble, doing the best thing for everyone. Instead, I've ruined myself.
We'll get your farm in order again, Raphael. I'd have harvested your crop if there'd been time, but there wasn't. And with you fleeing from tomorrow's troubles, you couldn't do the work that was needed to be done today.
But a man has to look to tomorrow.
If you'd only listened before, Raphael. Of course, a man must look to tomorrow, to prepare, to save, to be ready for tomorrow. All that is good. But to fear tomorrow, to try to escape all the dangers that it might possibly bring, no man can live that way, without failing to do what he should today. It's as the Master said, Raphael. Do right today, live right today. But don't try to live with tomorrow's troubles today.
Take, therefore, no thought for the morrow, for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof.
Lord. This has been Sufficient Unto the Day, another episode in the greatest story ever told, from the greatest life ever lived.
The greatest story ever told. Presented by the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. Tonight we present Thou Shalt Be Recompensed, a drama based on a teaching from the greatest life ever lived. The town of Kadesh is far to the north in Galilee, so visitors there from the province of Judea are infrequent, and visitors from Jerusalem are rare indeed. So it's not strange that on this day a certain man, Simon of Kadesh, is very much enthused as he tells his wife of an important visitor who's coming from Jerusalem.
Rebecca, we must outdo ourselves this time. You can't imagine how important this can make us in the eyes of everyone in Kadesh.
But how did one entertain such a man? You said he was a scholar, didn't you?
One of the finest minds in Jerusalem today.
We've never had a scholar at our house before.
Nor has anyone in Kadesh had such a scholar for a guest. Don't you see? How it will impress Mordecai. He's always fancied himself the wise one among all our friends. I dare say he won't have much talking to do when a sage like Jethro sits at our table.
This Jethro, what kind of a man is he?
I told you, a scholar.
I know that. I meant, do you know any more about him? His tastes and his preferences. Things I should know if I want him to feel at home here.
Don't worry about that. Just prepare the finest food you can. That should please him. And as for the really important thing, whom shall we invite?
Why, our friends, of course.
Oh, it's not that simple.
What do you mean, Simon?
My dear, this will be an outstanding event in Kadesh, one unequaled in the past and probably never to be equaled again. We must use it to good advantage.
Perhaps this scholar, Jethro, won't like being used in such a way.
He doesn't even have to know. Now, come, we must prepare a list of guests. First, there'll be old Reuben.
Reuben?
Why not?
Reuben isn't really one of our friends. He thinks he's too good for us. Has he ever invited us to his home?
You're very clever, Rebecca, up to a point.
I don't think I like that, Simon.
Of course Reuben hasn't ever invited us to his home. But if he comes here, if we entertain him well, if he can boast that he sat at our table with such a great sage as Jethro, we'll be invited to his home before much time has gone by. Don't you worry about that. And don't ever forget his importance to me in business.
Yes. Of course.
So we must go down the list. Each person invited must be here for a purpose. We'll be storing up a great many favors for ourselves if we do this right.
I hope so.
I know it. So do as I say. And remember, the feast must be the finest that's ever been had here in Kadesh. Yes, this will do us good in more ways than one. And the oil for Jethro, and it shall be fragrant oil, and then water to wash his feet. It must all be ready, Rebecca.
It is ready, Simon.
Ah, good. And the room he shall occupy.
Yes, clean, just waiting for him.
Good, good. Then we're ready for him.
Simon, do you know what you'll say to him?
Well, we'll talk.
About what?
Well, about the state of affairs.
What affairs?
Things, you know.
I'm frightened.
Frightened?
Yes. I don't know how one talks to such a learned man.
It won't be your place to talk, my dear, so don't concern yourself about it. Your worry is the house, Jethro's comfort, the feast, and that's all.
Yes, Simon.
Now then, we shall... Yes, who is it?
He's here. Jethro from Jerusalem.
Here? Already? Come, Rebecca. We shall hurry to greet him. Come. Jethro, this is indeed an honor. Never has my home been graced by a man of such fine reputation. You are welcome here.
It is very kind of you, Simon.
First, the embrace of greeting. There. And now, Absalom, the water for Jethro. It's been a long journey. And the oil to soothe his skin.
Please, you do too much. Far too much for so humble a person as I.
I have often said that scholars do not receive the recognition that is due them. Well, that shall not be true in my house. Here we honor such men. Consider it my privilege, Jethro.
If it would make you feel better, Simon.
It would. Absalom, the basin of water. Come, quickly. Wash Jethro's feet. And I myself shall fetch a cup of cold milk. Very refreshing on such a warm day. So, sit right here. I shall be back in a moment.
Cold water would be enough to refresh me.
Rebecca, did you hear?
Yes, that was a very fine speech you made, Simon.
He seemed to like it, didn't he?
Yes.
Now, give me the cold milk. I must bring it to him at once.
Here it is. Freshly poured from the jug.
Now, give me the jug, too. I shall take it all to him.
Yes.
Now, you're sure everything is prepared for tonight's feast?
Everything.
Good. All right. Now I'll rejoin Jethro. And in a little while you may come into the room. Ask if everything is satisfactory to him. And that will give me the chance to introduce you. But you're not to stay long, remember?
Yes, dear.
All right. Now open the door for me. Well, Jethro, here, cold milk. And enough of it to make you forget the hot hours in the sun on that uncomfortable camel. Here.
Thank you, Simon.
Well, drink.
I can never hold a cup of milk in hand without being reminded of God's blessing. Can you, Simon?
Why, no. Yes, after all, we must never forget to be thankful for the plenty we have.
Did you ever stop to think, Simon, that God so arranged things that a goat is given the ability not only to nurture its own young, but to sustain human life as well? Man could not make this cup of milk, yet it shall refresh me and sustain me. It is as a gift from God to me.
Why, oh, yes, of course. And speaking of being sustained, well, this evening we shall have a great feast in your honor.
A feast? In my honor?
Of course.
I had rather hoped for something different. A meal at which you and I and your wife could eat simply and talk of many things I would like to know about this place.
Oh, you'll learn a great deal more from the many guests I've assembled. Every important person in Kadesh shall be here this evening, all to pay honor to you.
That will be interesting, I'm sure.
Oh, one moment, sir. Yes, sir. Who is it? Oh, Rebecca.
I interrupted you only to make sure that everything is to Jethro's liking.
It is indeed.
Sir, this is my wife, Rebecca.
Rebecca. Of course. No name could be more fitting. For as the Rebecca of old drew from the well a cup of cold water to refresh our forefather Isaac, so your fine house has refreshed and comforted me. It is a good omen that you bear her name.
Thank you, sir. Oh, yes, of course. I must go now and see to the preparations for the feast.
My dear, I trust that the preparations won't keep you so busy that we won't have time to talk.
You must do something, Simon.
There's nothing to do but let things go on as we planned them.
It's like taking advantage of a child. He's so naive and unsuspecting. We can't use him just to further our own ambition.
Just because the old fellow said something that flattered you, you mustn't forget the real reason we have him here.
I'll feel very badly about this.
You'll smile and be a very gracious host.
But it's dishonest.
Look at it my way. He'll be in Kadesh only once. What if he doesn't enjoy the company of our friends? We have to live here the rest of our lives. And the good we can do for ourselves tonight will last us that long. I know.
Then you won't...
I won't change one single thing. We'll have our feast as we planned. Everyone will be here as we planned, including Reuben. I want to impress him most of all. All of them important people, Jethro, and all of them influential.
Indeed.
Reuben. Yes? I'm sure that Jethro would like to know the very witty thing you said that day when the Phoenician trader was here in Kadesh. And there was another time, Jethro, that Jethro.
What?
I was talking to you, Jethro.
Yes?
Oh, but that can wait. Here come the roasts now. Which will you taste first? The lamb or the young calf that I have specially selected? And did you know that Reuben is descended from the house of David? That's true, Jethro. Jethro, I'm talking to you.
Yes?
I was saying that Reuben is directly descended from David, King David.
Indeed. Then I know one of your kinsmen well, Reuben.
Is that so? Who, may I ask?
Very wise he is. And there is no other like him.
A kinsman of mine? Well, his name, his home?
He lived till lately in Nazareth.
Nazareth, eh? And I don't remember any kinsman there except... No, I remember no one.
His name is Jesus. Now we call him Master.
Oh, yes, I've heard of him. He might try to establish kinship with me, but I doubt if he'll succeed. Now then, as I was saying, there was a time when a man
Well, Simon, they're all gone.
Yes, and I'm glad it went as well as it did.
Did it?
Well, what do you mean? Didn't Reuben say before he left, you'll have to come to my house very soon, Simon? Didn't he say that?
Yes.
And the others, they won't forget this night. Did you see Mordecai's face?
But what of Jethro?
Well, what of him?
He hardly said a word. And I think he feels rather badly used. I think he knows. And he's hurt.
Oh, nonsense. Do you really think so?
I do. He said practically nothing. Only enough to refrain from being impolite.
Yes, I do recall that he didn't talk much. He may be right. I shall go to his room. I shall find out if he's been hurt, and I'll do it at once. Jethro, I don't want you to misunderstand, but my wife noticed it first. We feel that you haven't really enjoyed our efforts to entertain you, the feast.
The feast? It was excellent. Rather too much food, but very fine.
Yeah, I mean the people. You didn't say very much, except that one thing to Reuben about the master. He didn't seem to feel the same way you did about that. I'm sorry.
You shouldn't be so concerned with me. I did enjoy myself.
But you didn't talk to anyone. You didn't seem to be enjoying yourself.
Ah, but I did. I spent one of the most pleasant evenings with David that I have ever had.
With David? There was no one here named David.
He was a companion of my mind this evening. Keep thy tongue from evil, and thy lips from speaking guile. Depart from evil, and do good. Seek peace, and pursue it. Simon, I'm sure you remember that psalm.
Yes.
That psalm of David and many others were in my mind this evening.
You mean you didn't hear what the others said?
When I can spend my time with David, should I spend it listening to a man like Reuben relate how he insulted a stranger from another land? No, Sam. I'm afraid your important people had nothing of importance to say.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You needn't be. I'm sure Reuben was impressed. He'll invite you to his home very soon. So your purpose has been accomplished.
You mean you knew?
Simon, do you think this is the first time this has happened to me? Well, it isn't. This feast you gave in my honor was neither a feast, nor was it in my honor. It was a meal served with the express intention of having your friends become indebted to you. And I was held up for view as the Roman legions exhibit their prisoners for all Rome to see, as evidence of victory.
Jethro, you must forgive me. You must.
I forgive you. You should forgive yourself. But only after you've done something to atone.
Done something? What can I do now?
Simon, you heard me speak of the master this evening.
Yes?
Once, I was privileged to sit with him at table. And when I heard him speak of just such a matter, his words would mean something to you now.
When thou makest a dinner or a supper, call not thy friends, nor thy brethren, neither thy kinsmen, nor thy rich neighbors, lest they also bid thee again, and a recompense be made thee. But when thou makest a feast, call the poor, the maimed, the lame, the blind, and thou shalt be blessed, for they cannot recompense. Thou shalt be recompensed at the resurrection of the just.
The maimed? The blind here in my house?
Perhaps it would do you good. Would you try? For my sake.
But I don't know the poor, the blind.
I could help you. When I entered Kitesh, there stood at the gate a blind man who played fine music on a lyre. We could start with him.
I don't know what people would say.
Will you do it, Simon? For my sake.
Yes, Jethro. First thing in the morning, we shall go to the gate. For a blind man.
Here, Simon. This is the man.
Yes, Jethro. Well, and what shall I do?
Go on. Ask him.
Yes, I shall do that. You, blind man.
Did you call me, sir? If you do, my name is Philip.
Yes, Philip. Now then, Philip, would you come to my house for a feast this evening?
Come to your house? Who are you?
Simon is my name.
Simon, eh? I know of you. You're a very important man here in Kadesh. What would you be doing with a beggar at your house? Or is it that you want me to entertain? I don't play badly on this lyre, they tell me.
No, I merely want you to be my guest. Would you?
I'm afraid that would be impossible.
Go on, Simon. Urge him.
I'll try. Please, Philip, it would be a great favor to me if you did come.
Very strange, Simon asking me that way. But you see, Jacob, he's the one you may have noticed here other days, the maimed one. He's not been well lately, and I must spend my time with him this evening.
Simon, I think we have found our second guest. Don't you?
Why, yes. Then why not bring Jacob along, too? And if he's unable to walk, I shall send one of my servants to fetch him.
You are a kind man, Simon. I'd never heard such things about you before. I'll be happy to eat at your table. Thank you, Simon.
Thank you for accepting, Philip.
Well, Simon, you did magnificently.
It was a little strange, as he said, me inviting a beggar to my house, but I'll confess one thing. It gave me a good feeling. It did. Whom shall I invite next?
We'll find many others like Philip and Jacob. But we mustn't forget about Reuben.
Reuben? But you said only the poor and the blind and the maimed, the unimportant, the ones who can't repay me.
And Reuben.
But he'll never forgive me. He'll feel humiliated, as though this is a joke at his expense.
We'll invite him anyhow. Come, we've so little time.
Yes, of course, Jethro. Well, Jethro, here they are.
Yes, and all of them eating well. It takes hungry men to enjoy such good food.
Yes, but look at Reuben. He seems very uncomfortable down there at the middle of the table between Philip and Jacob.
Perhaps now he is a little uncomfortable.
And I don't like the way he's looking at me.
What if one man looks at you unkindly? Look at all the others in this room. How thankful they are. Wait. Philip's getting up now.
My friends, we sit here now at the table of a good man, eating as we beggars and unfortunates don't eat very often. And so I've been thinking to myself, surely we must repay him for this kind act.
Oh, now, please, Philip, I want no recompense.
You needn't be afraid, Simon, for we have little of value that we could give you. But we do have this. My lyre and the little skill I possess, Samson's voice, which is known and loved by those of us who are his friends in poverty. Those are our gifts. So, if you will allow me, I shall give you my gift first.
Of course, Philip. I'll be delighted.
Thank you, Simon.
I never knew he could play that well.
He's probably never played like this before, Simon. You see, he plays from his heart now.
Well, you thank me. It's been a genuine pleasure having you here.
You're a good man, Simon. Very good. Such a thing has never happened before in Kadesh. Rich men can be very fine when you get to know them.
Well, then we must be sure to see that we all get to know one another better. This must happen again and often. Eh, Philip?
Simon, they wanted me to be the one to say something as we left, but all I can think to say is, God bless you.
I could think of nothing that would sound better than that, Philip.
Good night, Simon.
Well, Simon, you seem to enjoy yourself this evening when you got over your first nervousness. You worry about what people would say?
Yes, and I discovered some very remarkable things. Although I do think that Reuben was not quite in the spirit of the evening.
Why not ask him?
What do you mean, ask him? Hasn't he gone? Didn't he leave with the others?
No. You'll find him still in the dining hall.
Oh, then I must go and...
No need to come looking for me, Simon.
Oh, Reuben.
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry if this evening didn't please you, but Jethro seemed to think you should be here.
Then I have Jethro to thank for this?
Thank or blame? The choice of words is with you.
Then it shall be thank.
Do you mean that, Reuben?
I do indeed. I never realized that such a man as Philip, a blind beggar I pass at the city gate so many times a week, that he would play so well on that lyre, and that he would have such a fine sense of humor. Yes. And Jacob, the maimed man, did you know that he can quote from scriptures as freely as any scholar I've ever met? Yes. Yes. He told me that since he's able to move about so little, he spends most of his time in study. And I never would have known of these things if you hadn't asked me here tonight.
Well, then I'm happy you agreed to come.
The next time, Simon, we shall have the feast at my house.
At your house?
Come, Simon. If a man wants to do something good for those who need it, you should give him the opportunity. You shouldn't he, Jethro? It's only fair.
No, if men would always vie with one another to do good instead of evil, to make sacrifices instead of seeking fame and honor, what a world we'd have. Eh, Reuben?
Yes, Simon had an excellent idea.
Now then, both of you, I want you to listen to me. The idea was neither Simon's nor mine. It was the master's.
My kinsman, you mean?
Kinsman to us all, Reuben.
Oh.
And we should try to understand his teaching fully. It does not apply to a meal or even several meals. Those are only examples. For his teaching applies to all a man chooses to give. When he gives, let it not be for profit or for a return of favors, but give with a free and open heart, not seeking any recompense, save the satisfaction of the Spirit that good has been done for those who needed good.
Simon, we've a great deal still to learn, haven't we?
Yes, Reuben.
Jethro, Reuben didn't hear those words you spoke to me last night.
The words of the Master. Then he shall hear them, just as I heard them, spoken by the Master himself.
When thou makest a feast, call the poor, the maimed, the lame, the blind, and thou shalt be blessed, for they cannot recompense thee. Thou shalt be recompensed at the resurrection of the just.
This program was brought to you by the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. Next week, on this same network at this time, we'll present If You Have Faith, another episode in the greatest story ever told from the greatest life ever lived.
Presented by the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
Tonight we present If You Have Faith, a drama based on a teaching from the greatest life ever lived. The western shore of Galilee looks out on the great sea, and the same waves which wash up on the Galilean shore touch Phoenicia and Egypt, Greece and Rome. Ships of all nations are carried to Galilee on the great sea. And there is one woman who watches carefully from the shore for every new vessel that appears. Now she sees an unfamiliar vessel coming into port. She takes the child's hand and says,
Dear, look. Look, a new boat is coming to shore.
Yes, Mother, I can see it.
Oh, come, we must hurry, dear. Perhaps this time there'll be word of him. Quickly.
Mother, please, you're going too fast for me.
Then I shall go on by myself. You follow, dear. Follow.
Mother! Mother!
Better hurry there, man.
Dear, me.
Hey, woman. What do you want?
Did you just come ashore from that new vessel that stands out there?
You? Huh. She's covered every cove on the Great Sea.
I mean, you here in this port. This is the first time you've been here in some years, isn't it?
Yes, and what can I do for you, woman? What do you want?
In your wanderings on the sea, did you happen to see a vessel from this port, flying 2 sails, and with the language of our country inscribed on her red and gold prow?
I've seen some vessels that fit that description, yes. Saw one only 3 months ago in Corinth.
3 months ago? Did you see her crew? A tall man with dark hair and a face brown from the sun. Did you see him?
Everyone seemed to look like that. After all, when men are at sea under the burning sun for 5 months...
5 months? If they were at sea only 5 months, it's not the vessel I mean. Not my husband.
Oh, your husband. Has he been gone long?
4 years.
4 years. Well, you'll never know what'll happen at sea. Sometimes you think you've seen the last of a vessel, and then like a miracle, she shows up in port one day. It happens that way. Sometimes.
Mother, did he know?
No, dear.
It's like it's been all the other time.
Come. We'd best be getting home.
I'm sorry, woman. There are those in every port who ask. But 4 years. I don't remember any woman asking about a vessel gone 4 years.
I know.
No, ma'am.
But every time I see a new vessel, I hope that perhaps this time. Then I find out. It never is. Thank you very much, sir. Come, sir. We shall stand here on this cliff, Sarah, and watch the sun go down into the sea. The day we were married, your father and I stood on this cliff, here beside this mulberry tree. And he promised that no matter where he sailed, he would always return. And I promised I would always wait. I'll wait. And he'll come back. He must.
I hope that he does. I hope that...
What is it, dear?
Mother, we're not alone up here.
You mean there's someone... Oh, Ezra.
Please, Martha, don't misunderstand, but I know you and the child come here every evening at this time. I thought I might walk home with you.
Yes, we can walk back to the town together. But first, would you and Sarah go on a few paces?
Yes, of course. Come, Sarah. Your mother will catch up to us later.
Yes, sir. Mother, you will catch up, won't you?
Sarah?
Yes, sir?
You shouldn't call me sir that way. You and I should be friends. Maybe one day we'll be more than friends.
What do you mean?
Tell me, what does your mother do when she's alone by that tree?
Oh, she just stands there. She doesn't say anything, but somehow you know that she's talking to someone. To my father. Telling him she's still waiting.
Mm-hmm. I thought so.
What did you mean, sir? About someday we'd be more than friends.
Well, I hope one day to convince your mother that I love you and her enough to take care of both of you.
Sarah? Ezra, wait for me.
Well, we'll talk about it later, my dear.
Talk about what, Ezra?
Sarah and I, we were, talking.
Ezra, please, I asked you not to talk to the child. When the time comes, if it comes, I'll talk to her.
I'm sorry, Martha. Now, shall we start home? It'll be dark soon.
Well, Martha, is the child asleep?
Yes, Bernice.
Then I think I shall go down the road to spend the evening with Elisha's family. I hear they have a cousin visiting them from Judea. He's come to Galilee to hear the master. It'll be nice to get news from Judea. I'll go.
Bernice, you're not so good at pretending.
I know you want to leave me alone because Ezra will come by tonight. I'm not ashamed of what I'm doing. I think you two should have a chance to talk things over in private. After all, Ezra's a fine man, well situated. And for a man of his position to marry a widow, it just shows how nice he is.
I'm not a widow.
I've heard you weep at night. If you really thought Gabriel were coming back, you'd not weep like that. My dear, I know a widow's tears. Oh, there he is. Where's my shawl? I was wondering if I want to meet Eliza's cousin. Oh, Ezra, I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
Is there something wrong? Where's your Aunt hurrying?
Any place but here, I think.
Oh, I see. Well, I have one staunch ally in this household and one friend.
That's not fair, Ezra. No one thinks more highly of you than I do.
For more than a year now, you've been able to hide that very successfully. I'm sorry. That wasn't a very nice thing to say. But I love you so, Martha.
Please, Ezra, I don't want to talk about it.
Martha, listen to what I have to say. I know that you don't love me. But it will be enough for me to know that you're my wife and that Sarah's my daughter. And then perhaps after a while, you'll grow to love me. It could happen. Couldn't it?
Maybe you don't really know what love is, Ezra.
The way I feel about you, well, surely that's love.
And you should know that love is not something easily put aside. It's something one's heart forgets. I could never forget Gabriel.
I wouldn't ask you to. After all, he was your husband.
He was my husband. I know he still is. Somewhere he's alive.
Then why hasn't he returned?
I don't know that.
If you loved him as you say and he loved you, then surely nothing could keep him away if he were alive.
Please, Ezra.
No. Now, you listen to me. There's more than yourself to consider. There's little Sarah.
We manage now.
Now, yes. But later. What will happen later? She'll grow up and miss the things that I could provide. Martha, I promise you, she shall have everything that I can give her. And that's something to consider.
You're very kind. And especially nice to Sarah.
Well, then, are you being fair to her? She's entitled to a father and the things a father could give her.
Ezra. Ezra, don't say any more.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would you rather I left now? Oh, you don't have to answer. I'll go. But it doesn't mean that I won't be back. Someone must convince you what's best for you and the child.
Martha, are you still up?
Yes, Bernice.
Sitting alone by a cold hearth. You've been crying again, haven't you?
Please, Bernice.
Well, you can tell me. What did he say? What did you say?
Nothing that hasn't been said before.
Oh, that's too bad. And now you're crying again. Poor Martha. Oh, child, this all happened to you when you were too young, too full of romantic notions. If you'd been older, you'd have felt different.
That wouldn't have made any difference.
I know. You're thinking of promises made up there on the cliff overlooking the sea, beneath that mulberry tree. But does a man know what can happen to him when he makes his promises? Can promises fend off a storm at sea or right a ship that's capsized? It's not for any ordinary man to say what will happen. That's for God and his prophets.
Please go with me.
Oh, wait, my dear. Martha, where are you going this time of night? Martha! Martha! Poor girl.
Aunt Bernice, what happened? Where's my mother?
She's gone out.
So late. Where?
Where? To climb to the top of that cliff, to sit under that tree in the moonlight and cry to herself. The sea is salted with the tears of sailing men's wives. But come, child. I'll put a cloak on you and we'll go find her. Child's asleep.
Sound of the waves must have done it.
Perhaps we should take her back to the house.
A little while. The moon is so lovely on the water.
Yes. You should have seen her face when she woke and asked for you before. Then when I told her you'd gone out, she was frightened.
I'm sorry.
A child can't know fear all its life without suffering for it.
I've been as good a mother as I know how.
Raising a child is not a woman's work alone. It takes a man, too.
But if her father returns...
Is she to live her whole life on that chance?
No.
Then?
Maybe you're right.
It would be best for the child.
I must think about it overnight. By morning, I'll know my answer.
I came here as soon as I got word, Bernice. Well, what is it?
I'm not allowed to say.
What do you mean?
Well, she'll be out here in just a minute. And while I can't say anything, I wish you the best of good fortune. May God be with both of you always.
Bernice, you mean...
I told you, my lips are sealed.
Bernice, they couldn't seal that twinkle in your eyes. She's finally come to her senses, has she?
You'll get nothing out of me, I promise. And besides...
Martha!
I trust my message didn't interrupt you at any important business, Ezra. But I felt you'd want to know as soon as I made up my mind.
For what I'm going to hear, I'd have interrupted anything. Anything. Well, Martha, I'm waiting.
Bernice.
I didn't tell him, did I, Ezra? And besides, you two will want to talk in private now. I'll be in the kitchen if you want me.
Ezra, I can tell that you know.
Yes, and it's wonderful.
I'm sorry she told you.
Well, why? As long as you've made up your mind.
Because it isn't that easy.
Once you've decided, everything else will take care of itself.
This Sarah.
Well, I've told you how I feel about her.
I know, but first I must tell her. And she must understand and agree. All I wanted you to know today was that I was going to speak to her.
That's all I have to know. She'll agree. I tell you, the child likes me. If it's in her hands now, then we'll be married. You'll never have cause to regret it. I promise you, Martha.
No promises. I want no promises.
Martha, what is it?
I'm sorry. It was something Bernie said to me yesterday about promises. I'll talk to Sarah this evening when we go to the cliff. Yes, dear.
You haven't said anything at all.
I've been thinking, dear.
About Father?
Sarah, you told me you heard people say that he might never come back.
Yes.
Well, suppose he didn't ever come back.
You think so, too?
We've waited a long time, Sarah, both of us.
But you said not to believe the other people.
After a while, you have to believe, my dear. There just doesn't seem to be anything else to do.
All right.
And if your own father isn't coming back, then well, you ought to have a new father.
I never thought about that before.
Well, now you do have to think about it. Do you think Ezra is nice? I mean, do you like him?
Do you like him?
Well, that doesn't have anything to do with it. It's the way you feel that counts.
I don't like to talk like this, Mother.
Please, dear, try to understand. We have to talk about it.
I don't know.
Listen to me, Sarah. It's important. Wait. There's someone coming up here to our cliff.
Yes, look. A whole group of men.
And the one who walks in the midst of them. Sarah, don't you know who he is?
Master. The one everybody talks of. The one who's done the miracles, cured the sick.
The miracles and more. And he's helped others. Why couldn't he help us, Sarah? Why?
They're coming toward us. What shall we do?
We'll wait right here. Perhaps I shall have a chance to talk to him. And if I do, then he'll tell me. Surely he must know how to help me.
We'll wait here. And be quiet, Sarah.
Never tried, Master. Tried to help the boy, to ease his pain, to cure him. And yet we're not able to accomplish it. Didn't we try, Thomas?
Peter is right. We did try, and nothing happened. Yet when you said the word, Master, the child was cured.
Why? Why?
Tell us, Master. What was lacking in us that we failed?
If ye have faith, ye might say unto this mulberry tree, be thou plucked up by the root, and be thou planted in the sea, and it should obey you.
Then it is faith which makes all things possible. Faith. Did you hear, brothers? Did you?
Mother, they're going. But didn't you want to talk to the master?
I've heard all I need to hear. Faith. That's what's almost slipped away from me now. That's what made me falter and think there might be another way. Well, there is no other way for me. Come, Sarah, we'll go home.
But, Mother, what you were saying before about Ezra.
No need to talk about that anymore, my dear. And I shall tell him so.
But only this morning you said you decided.
I'm sorry, Ezra. The master's words were all I needed to hear.
You speak to her, Bernice. There's no more that I can do.
Speak to her. I've pleaded with her ever since she told me. It's no use. No use at all.
All right, then. Martha?
Yes.
Don't think that I'm one to minimize loyalty. It's one of the things that I've admired so much in you. But this has gone far beyond that. I want you to tell me one thing, Martha.
Well?
If I can bring you proof that Gabriel is not alive, then will you marry me?
If you can bring me proof. Yes.
That's all I want to hear.
What are you going to do, Ezra?
I shall appoint a man to go from port to port along the great sea. Somewhere he'll find someone who knows what happened to Gabriel's ship. There may be some survivor, some trace, something which can prove once and for all what happened to him.
You'll send a man from port to port just asking?
The men of the sea will know. Someone will know. But when he comes back, I'm sure I'll have my proof. You might have heard. Have you?
Set sail from the coast of Galilee more than 4 years ago. Boat carrying 2 sails.
That's right. With words in the language of my people carved in her prow. Did you ever see or hear of such a vessel?
Not here. Not in this port.
Are there any Galilean soldiers here?
Well, you might find some, but I don't know.
Sails she carried.
And the language of Judea carved on her?
Yes. Have you heard about such a vessel? Seen her?
I can't say for sure. There was a man here who used to talk of such a boat.
This one man said that he had seen her, that she set sail for this port. Do you remember such a boat? More than 4 years ago it was. Try. Please try to remember.
Martha. Martha, are you in the house? Quickly. What is it? A ship which made port here from Crete. It brought this, a message. A message? For me? It's from Gabriel. Give it to me. No, Martha, not if you think it's from Gabriel. What do you mean? This message, it was given to me by Ezra, received from the man he sent to search for Gabriel. Oh, well, I should read it. Yes, my dear. But no matter what it says, don't be too disappointed. Give it to me. Dear Ezra, peace be with you. Here in Crete, I have found a man who knew the ship that Gabriel sailed on. She set sail from this port and was
never heard of again. The man told me that he had heard a rumor that such a vessel had been caught on the shoals along the Egyptian coast, destroyed. All hands were lost. But in accordance with your instructions, I'm not trusting to rumor. I shall seek till I have more convincing proof.
Martha.
Oh, Anthony.
No. It was to be expected. Please, Ezra. She's been so ill since that last letter. We must be careful how we tell her.
Don't worry. Martha?
Oh, Ezra.
Yes, it's I. You feeling better today? You know, I blame myself for this.
It's not your fault. Whatever happens, I want you to know that I truly appreciate all you've done on my account. The search, even if it was in vain.
But if it weren't in vain, Martha...
Not for you, perhaps. You have your proof. The one thing I didn't want to recognize. You proved it.
Martha, when a man sets out to seek something, he isn't always sure of what he'll find.
What do you mean?
Well, sometimes a man finds the very thing that he didn't seek.
But you wanted proof that Gabriel was lost forever. You didn't really find it?
No. But we did find something else.
What is it, Ezra?
Be calm, Martha. Be calm. Now.
Gabriel.
Martha. Oh, Martha.
Oh, Gabriel. Where? How? I don't understand.
The ship I sailed. She went aground on the shoals off the Egyptian coast. That part was so as the letter told you. But we were saved only to be captured by a nomad tribe and sold into slavery. I couldn't write to you, couldn't get word to you. And then Ezra's man appeared, like a miracle. He bought me from my owner. He brought me back here to you. Oh, Martha.
Ezra, you did all this.
No, Martha. He's here only because of you.
Waiting and weeping was all I could do.
No, you did more. If you hadn't been so steadfast in your faith that he was alive, we'd have forgotten him. I'd never sent a man to search. We never would have found him. It was your strength, your belief.
Mine? No. It was the strength I found in the Master and his words. On that one day when I might have given up, I heard him speak to his disciples. I heard him speak of faith and what it can do. That's what gave me new strength to go on believing you were alive, Gabriel.
The Master. You must remember I hadn't heard of him when I left here before. You must tell me what he said, Mother.
Yes, Gabriel. I stood beside our tree when I heard his words.
Verily I say unto you, if ye have faith, ye might say unto this mulberry tree, be thou plucked up by the root, and be thou planted in the sea, and it should obey you.
has been If You Have Faith, another episode in the greatest story ever told, from the greatest life ever lived. This is the United States Armed Forces Radio Service, the voice of information and education. Presented by the United States Armed Forces Radio Service.
Tonight we present Whosoever is Angry, a drama based on a teaching from the greatest life ever lived. In the town of Tiberias in Galilee, there's one man respected above all others. His name is Raphael, a kind man, an honest merchant. He enjoys the friendship and goodwill of his fellows. Now, when the work of the day is over, it's Raphael's custom to sit in the protecting shade of the arbor before his house. There he can watch the sunset, feel the stirring of the first breeze of evening. It's a time when a man could be at rest. And yet, this evening, Raphael's uneasy.
Nicholas. Yes, Raphael? Are you quite sure he hasn't returned? Well, possibly he's in his room. No, sir, I've looked there. Maybe you should have gone with him. After all, sir, he's not a child. Your son's a man. Young, of course, but still a man. Surely I can't go with him if he insists on going alone. I know. But it's that temper of his. I always have a feeling he'll get into trouble when he's out of my sight. Unfortunately, it's always a possibility with your son. Well, I've done what I can. I wasn't content to have him taught only in a temple school. So I brought you here to teach him the culture of Greece and Rome. I thought knowledge would change him. Knowledge is for the mind, but wisdom is for the heart and the spirit. The spirit, eh? I've noticed of late that you talk a good deal about the spirit, Nicholas. Why? Some think it presumptuous for a slave to discuss such a matter with his master. You talk that way to me? Nicholas, have I ever treated you as a slave? No. It's true that though you bought me in a Roman slave market, you've always treated me with respect. Yet this matter, I hesitate to talk to you about it. Even if I ask you? Even if I promise you won't suffer by it? Very well, Raphael. I have another master. Another master? But that's impossible. He is master for my spirit. Oh, the Nazarene. Nicholas, you follow him? You seem surprised. I thought he teaches only to my people. He teaches to all who listen and believe. I was even thinking that perhaps your son Samson could profit from his teaching. You mean it could help him with that violent temper of his? I think it could. Do I have your permission to talk to him? If it could help, of course you have my permission. You see, I should hate to pass on and leave him as he is now. Sir, I never heard you speak of death before. I have good reason now. I've been told I don't have much time left, and that it may come suddenly. Shock, excitement, anything. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Raphael. Now you see how important it is to me. I'd like to be sure of the boy before, well, in time, at least. Then I shall talk to him as soon as I can. Nicholas, someone has just entered the arbor. Oh, Samson! Samson, is it you?
Good day, Raphael. Or should it be good evening?
Oh, Phineas.
You must forgive my intrusion, Raphael. I know you like to be alone this time of day, but there are some matters of business which can't wait.
I said all I have to say to your man when he brought the figs to the marketplace.
You cost me a great deal of money today, Raphael.
I only refused to buy your figs.
Oh, that's all.
Hmm?
But when the word traveled around the marketplace, no one else would buy them either.
I'm sorry. But I've cautioned you before, Phineas. Give me honest weight for honest coin.
So now you're accusing me of cheating, is that
I put no names to it. Only the next time you send me figs, make sure they're of good quality below the first layer, too. And now I consider this matter was finished in the marketplace.
Hold on. I told you cost me a great deal of money today. What do you intend to do about it?
I am always ready to buy fine figs at an honest price. That is all I can tell you.
Then you don't care about the harm you've done me. You're too proud and important to worry about the likes of me, eh? Well, in that case, maybe I can return your little favor. Maybe I can give you something to worry about. We'll see. Yes, we'll see.
Phineas, he's gone. I don't like that man. I don't like the evil things he suggests when he talks that way.
But what could Phineas do to you, sir? Surely you're not afraid of him.
A bitter mind can erupt in strange ways. Somehow, at times like this, I wish Samson were here at the house.
He'll be back by dark. He always is. Wait, I can see him now.
Strange. What is it?
He's not alone.
Not alone? Well, who is with him? Who is that?
No one I've ever seen before.
Samson, son, I've been waiting for you.
Good evening, Father.
You have a guest.
I hope you don't mind, Father. He was a poor man I met at the city gate. He traveled a long way and arrived here penniless and without food. I thought we could do something for him.
Why, of course. Anything at all, son, for your guest.
Thank you, sir. I came here expecting to find my daughter and her husband. The last of my family. I thought they would take me in, but I find now they've moved on to another place.
Well, you shall rest here and go on when you're able.
Thank you. And bless you for raising so fine a lad as this one. A good heart. Yes, a good heart.
I'll go with him, Father, to see he has everything he wants.
Of course. There, Nicholas. There is the tragedy of it. So fine a lad, and yet there are times... Well, you know how he is at times.
I know, sir. But now maybe I'd better help him make his guest comfortable. Here, sir. I'll have some food brought to you.
Oh, thank you, but perhaps I trouble you too much. I could go to the kitchen for my food.
Oh, not at all. My father's house is a prosperous one. We have servants here to serve our guests. Samson, is there anything I can do to help? Oh, yes, Nicholas. Food. Bring my friend here some food while I help make him comfortable.
Of course, sir.
Now then, off with this dusty cloak.
Oh, thank you.
Then I'll pour some water for you. Now, that'll feel good for tired feet.
It will indeed. Thank you, lad. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't been there at the town gate. My own daughter, my last living child, and she isn't here.
There, now you'll find her. Tomorrow morning we'll go from house to house here. Somebody will know where she and her husband have gone. Don't you worry. Ah, and here's your food now. The outlook will be brighter for you once you've eaten well. Set it down here, Nicholas.
Yes, sir.
Now let's lift the cover up. Nicholas.
Yes, sir.
I don't consider this suitable food for my guest.
I don't know what the cook prepared.
Well, look at it. This is certainly not the same food my father and I shall eat this evening, is it?
Please, sir, there's nothing to become so wrought up about.
I know. You're going to tell me I'm losing my temper. Well, there are times a man should lose his temper. Now, when you insult my guest and you insult me, too, in the very same act, well, I won't stand for it. I won't. Get out, sir. Nicholas. Get out.
Yes, sir.
Oh, you needn't have been so concerned about me, lad. The food that lies there on the floor would have been good enough for me.
I'm sorry you had to see this, sir. I don't know what it is. Everything goes along smoothly enough until something happens. Some small thing like this, and then a fury comes over me. I can't control it. I'm sorry.
Things a man can do in a fury.
That's one good part of it. Nothing serious has ever happened, although... But I'm afraid of the same thing you are. Someday it might be something serious. Well, we've talked enough about me. You'll have to come down with me now and eat with my father and me. I trust it won't tire you too much. And if you can, forget what you just saw here. Please.
Samson, has your guest retired for the evening?
Yes, Nicholas. There were moments there during the meal when I thought he'd fall asleep while eating. He was a tired man. Nicholas.
Yes, sir?
What happened earlier, I hope you won't think too badly of me.
It's not my place to judge.
Oh, that's not so. You've been as close to me as my own father. When I hurt you, I hurt myself.
Then why do you let it happen?
I don't know. I like people. I try to help them, treat them as I'd want to be treated. And then come those moments when I suddenly hate them, grow angry with everyone. Even then, I don't really mean any harm.
And then you regret what you said or done.
Yes.
Samson, if you could change...
Oh, if only I could.
Would you do as I say?
Anything.
Would you go with me to hear the master just one time?
The master? Well, why?
Why not?
I don't know. I don't want to be talked to, lectured to.
Not even if your father wanted it?
One moment now. You mean my father and you have talked about this?
We have.
Well, I don't like that.
We meant you no harm.
I don't like being talked about behind my back. I don't like it at all. And I presume that's what goes on all the time, doesn't it?
Is there anything strange about that? Your father loves you, I love you. We're only seeking your happiness.
No matter how a conversation in this house starts, it always comes to the same point sooner or later. Now leave me alone, both of you. I'll work out my own problems in my own way, do you hear?
Please,
you may tell my father that I'm old enough to determine for myself whether I'll go to hear the master. And I won't continue to be treated like a child, do you understand?
I do.
I'll go on and tell him.
I can't do
Nicholas! My father's treatment of you doesn't change your place in this household. You're still a slave, remember that. You're to do as you're told.
Yes, sir.
Well, don't stand there, go tell him.
Nicholas doesn't have to tell me, Samson.
Father.
I heard what you said. I heard you ring the word slave in Nicholas' face. I didn't like it, Samson.
Well, then he should do as he's told.
I think that you should apologize, Samson.
Are you placing him above me?
I'm trying to have you repair the damage you've done to an old friend. And I apologize.
I will not.
Samson, I've ordered you to...
Father, what is it?
Right now.
Father!
Evening to you, Phineas. The word came to me that you wanted to see me.
Yes, come in.
Thank you. Well, what bit of dirty business needs doing?
Watch out what you say.
Well, we don't have to make pretenses, you and I. When you send for me, I have a notion what it's for. Well?
I want me a little revenge.
Revenge, huh?
Well, it's in my line. What kind of revenge? There's a man in this town who's insulted me. Even claimed I'm dishonest.
If you wanted to revenge yourself on everyone who said that, you'd have your hands full.
Now, see here,
All right. I like a little joke every so often. Now then, get to the business.
I want this man to suffer. I want to see him squirm. But yet it must be accomplished in such a way that no one can blame me. Well, does that suggest anything to that sly mind of yours?
It opens a variety of little doors in my mind. Intriguing doors. Ideas could come forth in profusion. But revenge, that's a rather personal matter. I mean to say it should be something that would hurt the individual most because of who he is, what he is. Now, if you tell me his name,
it's Raphael.
Raphael? That's strange.
Oh, what's strange about it?
I think fate has anticipated you. Raphael was struck down this evening. Ill. Very ill.
What?
Yeah, they don't know if he's going to live.
I hadn't heard.
Well, will it change your mind?
Of course not. This may make our task easier. So, think about it a while, eh, Lemuel?
Yes, of course. But I have a strange habit, Phineas. I think best with music in my ears. Say, the music coins make when they jingle together. Huh?
Any improvement? I told you to get some sleep, and I just lay there tossing. I thought I'd do better here. How is he? The same. I see.
Samson. Son, is that you?
Yes, Father. How do you feel?
I don't know.
Father, would you ever forgive me? It was my fault. What have I done? What have I done to you? If I could only undo it.
Evil is easier not done than undone. There's nothing you can do now for me. But there is one thing you can do for yourself. You are to go with Nicholas.
Leave you?
Yes.
I couldn't do that now.
You listen to me, son. The only thing I want now is some assurance that you will be well. Safe. That can never be unless you learn to conquer your fury, your anger. So if you would do anything for me now, you go with Nicholas. See the master. Listen to him. I'd feel better if you did.
If you say so, Father. People here, Nicholas. All of them trusting and believing in him.
And now you know why.
Yes. And when I think of the trouble that could have been avoided if only I'd agreed to come sooner. It's what makes anger so destructive, my boy. The thing we're angry at one moment seems welcome the next. Anger never helps. It only hinders us. What shall I say to the master when I stand before him? Be humble because of your fault, and hopeful because of your faith. The words will take care of themselves. Look, lad, it's our turn now. Come, Nicholas, there's nothing to fear, lad. Look into his face and speak. Master, I've been here only this one day, but I've heard more wisdom, more love, more kindness spoken here than in all my life before. Perhaps then you have some word which can help one like me. Something that can help to still the fury that rages up in me sometimes. For it has made me do things I would never want to do. Tell me, Master. Tell me.
Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, Thou shalt not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. But I say unto you, whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment.
And the words the master said were just as I told you, Father. Good. And do you know all that he meant, son? Nicholas and I, we talked about it. I think I know. Anger and murder, they are the same in a way. For one leads to the other, and no one knows at which moment the change will take place. So you must work at controlling your anger, my son. I promise I will. Promise? I've heard promises before. You must have the will. You must have the strength. You must have the desire to destroy your anger. I know. Good. Remember that as you take up my work. For I must turn it over to you now. There will be no more work for me again. Yes, Father.
Well, Lemuel, I've been waiting for you to get an idea. 1 day, 2, 5. It's been a week now.
Yes.
Well,
Phineas, did you ever think of Raphael's boy, Samson?
oh, I have nothing against him. It's his father I want to even a score with.
I should have known my brilliant idea would be wasted on you. You have no appreciation for brains, ingenuity, finesse.
What are you getting at?
The boy. And through the boy, the father. We can deal them a double blow that should give you all the revenge you want.
How?
Well, I'll tell you how I got the idea. Sitting here in the inn, watching the lad trudge to and from his father's place of business these past 2 days. Very serious, very businesslike. But we know that lad. Hot-tempered, violent, easily stirred to action. Well, we meet the boy, accidentally, of course. Words pass, about his father, perhaps, and the lad, true and staunch as he is, rises to his father's defense. What you say angers him to the point of fighting. He lunges for you, and I, in an effort only to protect you, bring this heavy goblet of wine down on his head with, shall we say, crushing effect? How do you like it?
I don't think it'll work. I've heard them talk about the boy in the marketplace. They say he's changed. He's different.
Different? Well, that only means we'll have to provoke him a little further. I know. After the first words pass between you, you seize a cup of wine from the table and fling the contents in his face. Now, surely under such insult, he must retaliate.
Of course. And if the son is badly injured or dies, the shock will kill the father.
Exactly, and nobody can blame us because everybody knows the boy's bad temper.
Did you say revenge, Phineas? Very good, Lemuel, very good. When shall it be?
Why not this afternoon?
Why not?
Phineas, I told you, he comes by here at this time.
Oh, that slave is with him.
Nicholas, yes, every time, but don't worry about him. He's old. He can't stop us.
Now, you'll be ready to hit the boy with your goblet. I wouldn't want him to get in the first blow. He could, he's a husky lad.
Yes, don't worry, so just do as I said. Now, here he comes. I'll stop him, engage him in conversation.
I will. Good afternoon, Samson.
Oh, Phineas. Good afternoon.
Wait, don't go. I want to ask you something.
Come, sir, we must return to the house.
One moment, Nicholas. Phineas, what do you want?
Only to inquire about your father.
He's getting better, thank you.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it. Very glad.
Well, I must admit it's a surprise to hear you speak that way about him.
But why? Because we've had our little differences from time to time? It's nothing. After all, who knows where shrewdness leaves off and dishonesty begins? The old man's a fox, eh?
Are you hinting that my father's dishonest?
No.
Come with me.
Go along with your nursemaid, lad.
Why, Yes, I think I'd better go along.
That's better, lad. Now, come.
Please, quick, the wine, of course.
Say there. Wait. Well, what is it now? You should forgive me, lad, for trying to provoke you. After all, it isn't fair of me to take advantage of a mere boy who's still wet behind the ears.
Is that all you have to say?
That's all I have to say, but that isn't all I have to do with you. You and I will share a cup of wine, eh?
No, thank you. I must be on my way home.
Oh, it won't take long. Let me hold a cup of wine.
Here, Phineas.
And now, Samson.
Why, you Samson?
Go on, Samson. Say something. Do something. Or has the wine dampened your spirits?
Phineas.
Yes?
Phineas, I find it difficult to do this, but I must do it nevertheless.
Samson, lad, no.
Take your hand off my arm, Nicholas.
Please,
go. Let me alone. Phineas, I may be an amusing sight to you now, with wine staining my face, dripping down on my coat. But I thank you.
You thank me?
Yes. This wine, I can wipe it off, wash it away. But I would never have been able to wash away your blood if I'd allowed my fury to go unchecked. Come, Nicholas. I think we can go home now. Nicholas told you? I'd rather he hadn't. You shouldn't worry about such things now.
Now that I know what happened, how you conquered your anger, I don't have to worry. Not anymore. How did it feel, son?
At first I thought the old flames of anger would burn the reason out of my brain. Then I remembered what the master said, and I could see it all clearly. In my anger, I could have destroyed Phineas. Then anger and murder, they would have been the same. You see, murder is in the heart and in the mind before it happens. And each surge of anger is a small murder in itself. Anger like that is worthy of the judgment, even as he himself said. Ye have heard that it was said by them of old time, Thou shalt not kill, and whosoever shall kill shall be in danger of the judgment. But I say unto you, whosoever is angry with his brother without a cause shall be in danger of the judgment.
has been Whosoever is Angry, another episode in the greatest story ever told from the greatest life ever lived. Story Ever Told was a presentation of the United States Armed Forces Radio Service, the voice of information and education.